What is up, my dudes? Now, if you remember about 3-ish months ago, I did a reaction video, or I don't know if you would call it that. It's not exactly a reaction video, but basically I did a video about me commenting on another kid's opinions on Nintendo, and I thought it went pretty well, so I thought today I'd do another stab at it. Round 2, baby. Now, he did have some good points. In fact, he was right about some things that I thought he was wrong about. For example, when he said that some of those Nintendo games were going away on March 31st, I thought he just meant from store shelves, but apparently you can't even download them from the eShop either. I don't know what Nintendo's thinking about that one, because it's like they don't want us to play their games that they're making. I don't get that. But it's really no skin off my bones, because the stuff they're taking down is not that important anyway. Like, they took down 3D All-Stars, which was kind of crappy. I mean, for emulating the games, it was fine, but it wasn't really a true step up from the original games, and besides, I own all 3 of those games separately anyway, so there's really no point for me to get this. But anyway, so today I looked at more Nintendo rants on YouTube, and I found one that I really liked, and I thought we could do another take at it. Now, I'm going to call this a Nintendo destroyer. Like, he had a pretty good attitude when it came to Nintendo. Like, the last kid was just whining and whining and whining about small stuff and saying that he hates Nintendo and crap like that. But this kid didn't say that. He's just making a few points that I'd like to discuss, maybe see if we can analyze it and see if he's right or wrong in it. And he has an intro just like the last kid did. But this time around, it's not actually a long-ass intro. It's not unnecessary. But we're still going to skip it because it has no relevance to the blog part of the video. So, without further ado, let's get started.
If you ask Nintendo why they put drift in their Joy-Con controllers, they would probably say something like this.
Hello, I like money.
I have the feeling this is not going to be the only cutaway in this video. Not implying that that's a bad thing.
Nintendo is ripping you off. Every time I play a game, I cannot go without the screen moving randomly without my control, because there is something wrong with the controller.
Yeah, I've had that same problem happen to me while playing Minecraft. I'm glad I'm not the only one who has experienced that, because it just freaking happens so automatically. Like, what the hell?
This is called Joy-Con drift. A lot of people know about it, and a lot of people hate it.
So I have a couple questions here. First of all, is this a decision Nintendo made, or is it just the fault of the Joy-Cons? Because I can just buy a new pair, right? And it'll stop, because I've had these for a while and it's had a pretty good run. And second, does this same problem appear on the Switch Lite? Those don't really have Joy-Cons, they're like built into the system, so I don't know.
And it ruins people's gameplay experience. It ruins mine. When I try to play a game I really like, I was just doing a playthrough of Final Fantasy VII recently, and every time I would try to move around in the open world, I couldn't walk without it spinning around.
I like this kid's accent a lot. Like, it's really clicking for me. And he's a lot more optimistic than the last guy. Like, I know he still has issues with Nintendo, but let's be honest, we all do, okay? But he's had a much better attitude about this situation than the last kid did. The last kid's like, I'm done being a Nintendo fan. This sucks.
And using the high wind in that game, it's essentially, if you don't play Final Fantasy VII, it's like kind of like an airplane, and you use it to move around the open world. And my screen kept on going in circles while I was trying to travel to different places throughout the map, and it's so frustrating. I'm not the only one that has to deal with this. There are lots of other gamers who have complaints, and some have even filed lawsuits against Nintendo.
Okay, I think I figured out the answer here. So it is the Joy-Cons that are at fault, because when I slide them in there, I can just do this, and they'll come out. I don't even have to push the button that's on the back to release them. So, yeah, I don't know if it's really Nintendo's fault that they're not that durable, but I don't know. And speaking of suing Nintendo, well, I don't know if filing lawsuits and suing are the same thing, but basically, you know the jackasses that sued Nintendo for stupid reasons, like, you use Kong and Donkey Kong, says Universal, or even worse, the kid that bought a really crappy Nintendo game and his dad decided to sue Nintendo over it. Like, what the hell's your problem? Anyways.
Believe it or not. But they deny that Joy-Con drift exists. They deny the existence of it. Why? I don't know. Say if one of your Joy-Cons doesn't work anymore, right? You go out to buy a new pair of Joy-Cons. How much does it cost? $70!
$70?! Like, really? That's $10 more than a new game.
Just for a pair of Joy-Cons. Now, don't get me wrong. When they do work properly, they're, state of the art, and they work really well.
You see what I mean here? This kid is looking on the bright side of Nintendo. He's not like the other kid who just dismisses Nintendo entirely just for a few mistakes that they made. I like this kid a lot. And I will admit, if Nintendo keeps screwing up, well, I may still buy their games, but I won't support them as much as I do today.
But the problem is that they're dysfunctional a lot of the time. They break within 6 months, and the Joy-Con drift takes effect. I have a Wii remote that is I don't know how old it is, maybe 12, 13 years old, and it works just fine. But yet, a Joy-Con that I got 6 months ago can barely function. And even if you want to find a singular Joy-Con, that costs $40.
Wait, $40? If they sold singular Joy-Cons, it'd probably cost more like $35, because that's what half of 70 is. Do the math, son.
Which is still expensive. But even then, it's hard to find one in stores, because they all sell them in pairs. And you want to know why? Nintendo wants to rip you off. They want your money.
They want your money.
Every time your Joy-Con breaks, they expect you to go and buy a new one, so you keep on giving them more and more and more money.
Well, I mean, all this money could have benefits. I mean, I do agree that there's probably better ways for Nintendo to get that money than just making Joy-Cons so fragile and stuff. But you never know, this money could be used to make more games. Who knows?
And also, they probably want you to buy that Pro Controller, which you probably should. But it's really expensive. I remember when I bought it, I don't know if it costs as much anymore, but it was a solid $90 for a Pro Controller. I don't know how much PlayStation and Xbox controllers cost, but it ain't that expensive. Nintendo really wants your money. And say if you want to buy 2 good games, that's about $60 each, so $120. And then you want to buy a new set of Joy-Cons, that's $70, so that's $190. And you want to get the Pro Controller, so that's what? Maybe we'll say it's, at best, it's $50, so $240. And then you got to get another pair of Joy-Cons because the other ones break, so that's another $70. So that's what? $310.
Two things here, guys. First of all, yeah, looks like he can do math pretty well, so I don't know why he couldn't split 70 in half, but I digress. And 2, why the hell does the Pro Controller cost less than the Joy-Cons these days? If it was 90 at first, but now it's 50 at best, 50, 60 something, and the Joy-Cons cost 70. The standard freaking controller that you need to use to play the system costs more than the enhanced version. Wrap your head around that.
$310 down the drain. Down the absolute drain. And Nintendo knows what they're doing. It's a strategy that's very scary, and I hope that other companies don't follow in their footsteps, because Nintendo does a lot of things right. But this isn't one of them. This needs to stop, Nintendo. It really does. This is not good.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, son. I'm gonna have to agree with you.
And here's another point that I have to make. There's a lot of games that are overpriced. For example, Yoshi's Crafted World. Take a wild guess how much that is.
It's over 9.
Not 9,000, guys, like the meme suggests, just over 9.
$60. Yoshi's Crafted World is the same amount of money as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, I have no idea why modern games, regardless of quality, all have to be $60 freaking. That's kind of unacceptable. I think the game's really worth purchasing, like Breath of the Wild or something like that. The games that are some of the best out there, yeah, they should be the $60 one, but something like Yoshi's Crafted World, it should probably be more probably $40 at max. I don't know. And also, some of those PS5 games, like Spider-Man Miles Morales, are costing $70 now. I remember when a new game cost like $50, and then it went to 60, and okay, 60 is kind of expensive, but if the game's really worth that much, then it's really worth that much. But 70, like, come on, what? Is it just gonna go to 80, then 90, then 100, then 110, 120, 130, 140? It's just gonna keep going up by 10 every few years. This is so crap.
At least when it came out, it was. $60 for Yoshi's Crafted World. Not a bad game at all. But is it worth $60? No, it's not worth $60. And a lot of the deluxe games, like even Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which is great, don't get me wrong, and I think that the side mode Bowser's Fury kind of makes up for the $60, but I still think that's overpriced too.
Yeah, is Nintendo really expecting us to pay the whole fee of money for a game that came out over half a decade ago that I own for the Wii U already? In fact, yeah, let's Google it and see how much I can buy the Wii U version in 2021. Let's see how much this costs and see which one I should get if I own both systems, the Wii U and the Switch. Alright, so I'm on Google now and we're gonna search Super Mario, oh, I spelled it wrong, hold on. Okay, Super Mario 3D World Wii U. And see how much it costs. Let's see here. Okay, so there's a version for $20. 20 freaking bucks. However, though, that's plus tax and, it costs some for delivery also, but even then, I think it still costs less than 60 freaking dollars. I mean, look at that. Do the math. Oh, crap. Okay, so do the math. $19.99 plus $2.24 plus $3.99 from GameStop. Yeah, I think I'd rather be buying that.
And small games like Paper Mario, those shouldn't be $60.
Guys, like I've said a billion times, this kid's attitude way better. But as much as I am liking this optimistic view on Nintendo, we're gonna have to skip some of this video because, well, for one, I'm getting tired of making this video. I've been working on it for like 4 days. I just want it to be uploaded already. And two, I don't know if it has any more relevance. Like, I do like the ideas he's coming up with, but I think we need to move on to the next topic, okay? Just so we can speed things along.
For the most part, when it comes to Nintendo, they're really good with first-party IPs, and they also put out a lot of indie games, and they give smaller games more opportunity to like shine, and they put up classic indie games on the Switch like Cuphead, Undertale, and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Wait, Freddy's? That game sucks. How's that a classic? Like, even if you don't know about its technical flaws, then you probably wouldn't even call it a game better than just okay. Like, I probably wouldn't word it as a classic, at least not right now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he means classic as in it was really popular at one time. I don't know.
Many more. I'll give him credit for all of that. Except there are three major IPs that they have been neglecting throughout the years. I'll name them right now. F-Zero, Star Fox, and Earthbound.
Okay, so now I was talking about franchises that Nintendo seems to have just been pushing to the side or even forgetting about. So let's see what he has to say about this topic.
The last time we had an F-Zero game was during the GameCube era. I wasn't even alive. I might have been. I'm not sure what year the game came out, but depending on the year, I wasn't even alive for the last F-Zero game.
It came out in 2003, so unless you're implying that you're younger than 17, yeah, you weren't alive. Which means you're younger than great-ass grandpa over here.
That's ridiculous. I think they really need a new installment for F-Zero. Captain Falcon is such an iconic character, and people love him. And I think they need a new F-Zero game. I think it'd be cool to expand on that universe, because there's a lot of potential with that.
Well, you see, son, the thing with F-Zero is that it's not that they don't want to make a new one, It's just that they have ran out of ideas. It's been like, what, almost 18 years. And I don't know if they're gonna come up with any ideas now. I mean, they're probably occupied with other things, but who knows? If they spend some time on it and think about it for a while, they could. But the fact is, you can't just force ideas out. You gotta give it some time, okay? You don't want to have a bad F-Zero, do you?
And also Star Fox. Technically, the last time we saw one was the Wii U. The last time we had a good Star Fox was on the Nintendo 64.
Well, I mean, Star Fox Adventures wasn't too bad, but I know it didn't really follow the formula too well. So you can go either way with that statement.
Yeah, they really messed up with that Wii U Star Fox. I think it's called Star Fox Zero. What a horrible name. And also, a lot of people hated that game. The last good one was on Nintendo 64. And that's horrible. That's just a disgrace to Star Fox, because it's just such an iconic series. And I don't know why they can't put one out on the Switch.
Yeah, I agree, actually. They should make a Star Fox for the Switch, because think about it. They can make the Joy-Cons like a steering wheel for the ship, and you can, like, spin it around and, you know, it would be an awesome idea. That might have been what they did for Star Fox Zero, but it would be even better if it was on the Switch. Trust me on that one.
Hopefully Nintendo proves me wrong with that. But, also, Earthbound. It's regarded as one of the greatest video games of all time.
They say that about every game, son. They say that about every game.
And making a new one would be a great way to introduce people into the series. I don't know why. Just look at some clips from Earthbound and look at some reviews of it, and you'll see for yourself how much potential there is there. So, yeah. That's, there's many more flaws that Nintendo has, but those are the ones that I wanted to mention. And, yeah, I really appreciate you guys checking out this video. I don't know why I made a random return on YouTube. I don't even know if I'm going to upload regularly, but stick around and see what happens. I don't know. I just really missed uploading on YouTube, and I feel like I wanted to make something. But, I might be back. I might not be. I really don't know. I'm flirting with the idea. So, please like this video. Please leave a comment and subscribe.
Alright, so in conclusion, this wasn't a Nintendo Destroyer at all. This is more of a Nintendo Defender like I am. So why is it not called Nintendo Defender versus Nintendo Defender? Well, it's just the follow-up to the other video. And you know what? I think I might have said this already, but I don't know if this is going to be a series. Like, I don't know if I'm going to make a round 3 or anything. Like, so this kid, and this is the last time I'm going to say this, I promise you. But, way better attitude. And, with that, we are done with this video. I will see you guys in the next video. I already have the notes for the next BBM episode, so I gotta just make that now. But I will see you guys later. Goodbye.